Hello, everybody. Jax West from Stephen Avery Project, Justice with Jax, and MAM Gossip on Facebook. And then we also have this YouTube channel that we do weekly lives, mostly weekly. Sometimes I'm lazy. Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central. Hello, everybody new and those who have been around forever that are visiting today. Make sure you click to like and subscribe. Sup, cat? And maybe you will be notified of when I go live. Nope, nope, nope. Hold on a second. I'm doing a live video. A friend texting me saying, I'm calling you right now. No, you're not. So, hello, Kimmy. And I don't know how to say your name. Juniors, JRs, and Baxter. So, today's live, we are going to discuss. I visited Melissa Calusinski. Okay, call me when you can. Okay. Um, I visited Melissa on Monday, and now today I drove her dad. So I can give you some updates on those. Joe. Oh, J-O. There you go. Okay, so I drove her dad today for an errand. So I'm tired because not that I had to get up early, and now because I said tired, psychosomatic here that makes me yawn. Um, so Melissa's dad and the Kaluzinskis still live in the same house that Melissa lived in with them and, grew up in. And her bedroom is just kept as her bedroom, waiting for her to be free. But it's about in decent traffic, I can get there in about 40 minutes. So it takes about 40 minutes to an hour to get there. And then Paul needed me to take him to Chicago for an errand um, where it was just something he was picking something up real quick. And Paul's car needs to be worked on. So he and his wife Cheryl are down to one car right now. And oh, miss you too, Bryce. So, so they're down to one car right now. Back to work. Poor Bryce. Um, until I guess Paul said that one of his sons was going was going to come over this weekend and fix the car for Paul. So until then, he and Cheryl are only down to one car. So he asked me if I would take him to Chicago so he could pick up something. And so I was literally just taking him to the building, and they were supposed to come down and meet Paul on the main floor and give him the stuff, but he ended up having to go up in the building. So, so I just have to park illegally in front of the building, and this is Chicago with the stupid traffic, and put on my flashers and then drive them back. But it's, so it was about a 40-minute drive from my house to Paul's, and then an hour from Paul's to the place in Chicago, and then an hour back to drop Paul off, and then the 45 minutes back to my house. But I made it and I'm here. And so something I'll be doing after I do this live is Paul asked me, I don't know if I'm an admin or a moderator on Melissa's Facebook page that was started by Paul's sister Helen. So Melissa's aunt. She runs that. And so I was made an admin of it several years ago because I was attending Melissa's hearing, and then also Paul would do some Facebook lives, and he doesn't know how to do that stuff, so I would have to go to Paul's house and do it. So Paul wanted me to be an admin because it was just easier for me to put videos directly on there or whatever. But I never do anything with Melissa's Facebook page. It's a Debbie show, yay. Um, because that's Helen's deal, so I don't post any updates, I'll get notifications if there was new people wanting to join the group, all that stuff, but I don't do any of it because like I said, it's Helen's page and I'm not interfering. And so Paul's like, I want you to post updates when you visit Melissa and let people know how the visits went and stuff. And I'm like, and I told him, I'm like, well, I don't really do that. It's Helen's page. Not, and I'm like, I've got my stuff and I just posted on my stuff. And he's like, well, I'm Melissa's father and I'm asking you to do it. So I will probably just share the link to this video that we're doing today and then type up a little something about the visit and post it on Melissa's page. But you all get to hear it first or directly from me, where we've gone over Melissa's case before, and I'm not going to delve back into the case. We've done many different lives where I've gone step by step of Melissa's case. So you can go into the whatever they call it here. See, I'm just seeming like such an old person. So, but so I have a file or whatever it's called, a tab, something that is titled Melissa Calusinski. So you can go in there and check out all the different videos we've done over the years on Melissa's case to find out more if you don't. Um, so so the visitations at the prison are still where you have to sign up online to do it. And of course, you have to be somebody that's already on her list. So, so you people randomly out there can't go, oh, I want to visit Melissa. I'm going to go just sign up online. It doesn't work like that. You have to be on the list and have approval. Um, but Melissa's parents, again, because like Melissa's mom does not use the internet. She's not on any social media, nothing. So I don't even know if Cheryl carries a cell phone. Um, um, and then Paul is hit or miss of when he's on, or I think I don't think he's really on currently because he told me today that his computer's got a whole bunch of viruses on it and all that. So I always have to make the appointment for them to go visit. But so the way I always do to schedule my visits is that I always find out from her parents first when they're going to go because inmates are only allowed 3 visits a month. And with Easter being this month too, not sure um when they're going to go or how many times they're going to go. So I always want to make sure that I have scheduled their visits first. And then I will schedule my visit to be Melissa's parents always go on a weekend because Cheryl works, a full-time job. So um so they'll always be on a Saturday and then so they're on a Saturday, and then I won't schedule myself for the week right after that. I do the week after that. So because her parents and I are the only ones that visit Melissa. So I'm trying to stagger it through the month. So she gets treats and a visit and something to do that it's stretched out a little bit. So Melissa's parents this month went and visited her on April 2nd. And now I just went this past Monday. But I screwed up. I am not religious. I don't know anything about I don't know much about Lent or any of that. And Melissa is very into her Catholic religion and she follows it. And so for Lent, she has given up chocolate. And so she wants me to come for a visit after Lent so I can buy her chocolate while we're there. Well, Lent doesn't end until tomorrow. So now here I went and visited her on Monday and so she couldn't have chocolate. So now I have scheduled another visit because you can't schedule a visit online. It has to be 7 days or more in advance. And I didn't wanna schedule it to go again right next week. So I'll be going the following Monday, the 25th. I'll go back down and I'll be able to buy her some chocolate out of the vending machines that they better have the frickin' chocolate in the vending machine or I'm gonna lose my shit. Um, my mom my mom, really cares about this case. She cares about the Stephen Avery case too, but Melissa, it's different, because I don't know if it's, Steven's a guy or whatever. It just Melissa's just a sweet girl, and, my mom has a lot of sympathy for Melissa, and I've also introduced, Paul to my parents, so Paul's been to my parents' house, Paul came to my wedding, so my mom gave me $10 to go towards buying chocolate for Melissa, on the visit. But so I will be going in, 2 weeks or whatever to buy her chocolate on that Monday. So what happened on this visit? Well, so the drive for me from my house to Melissa's prison is about, according to the GPS, 2 hours, 16 minutes. And since we're still in COVID scheduling for visitations, you're only allowed to go there X time slots. So my time slot is 8:30 to 11. That's it. That's all you get. So, I leave here around 6ish. Um or and when I went this week, traffic was really good, so I was able to fly down there, and when I was about 15 minutes away from the prison, um, because you're going down, this isn't Southern Illinois, but to me, it's Southern Illinois since I'm in a Chicago suburb, so you're passing a lot of farmland, a lot of, woods and, so there's wildlife and all this stuff. And so a big bird flew over my car at one point, and I'm always looking for bald eagles because they are here in Illinois. I've gone to certain places where um, eagles are gonna be just to go watch them, but I've always wanted to just see an eagle at random in the wild, not in a cage in a zoo, you know what I mean? And so anytime a big bird flies over or whatever, it makes me I wanna, "Is it?" And this time it was a bald eagle that was flying over my car, and I could see too in its mouth, it had a fish and the fish was still wriggling, which, I know circle of life and I eat fish and I'm a hypocrite, but, I don't like seeing things get killed, but whatever. But, but I'm like, "Oh my god, I saw this eagle." So I told Melissa about it and she said, and seeing an eagle or an eagle flying over you, I can't remember how she said, is good luck. And so she's really hoping that good luck means it is good luck for her case. That that she's going to hear something on her case, cuz she also said she's had a couple instances now where she is in Illinois, it's like warmer than it is for me up here, and it gets warmer there earlier than it does up here, so they've got butterflies already, and she's had a butterfly land on her. So she's just, and I'm sure, when you're somebody whose life has been taken away from you, and Melissa's been incarcerated now for 13 years, anything you can take as a positive sign, I'm gonna encourage that, so I was like, "Knock on wood," and she knocked on the table, and it's like, "Here we go, something's gonna happen for Melissa soon." So
Sorry, could you say that again?
I'm not
Sorry.
talking to you, watch. Um, so everybody think happy thoughts for Melissa that this will mean we're going to hear something on her case that, that it's going to get into court somehow, some way. Let me read a couple of the questions that have come in. Could you ever do a film of where she is, a bit like the walk around you did of Steve's prison? Okay, Baxter, where Melissa's prison is, okay, so her prison is called Logan Correctional, and then there's another prison that's right next to it that's called Lincoln, because she's in it's Lincoln, Illinois, and it's Logan County. So it's 2 prisons that are right next to each other, and then there's, like, a big water tower. Um, and then it is also surrounded by, there's, like, um, wildlife preserve or something that's around it. Um, so you can't walk around this prison, and the most I could do is just walk in the parking lot, and that's it. The prison next door, um, I believe it is, like, typically your first stop prison when you've been sentenced to prison, so you go there before then you get shipped to where else you're going to. It used to be where the women were at one point until they officially moved them next door to Logan. I don't know if this is something you could Google Earth, the Logan Correctional or Lincoln I'm assuming it's Lincoln Correctional, or I don't know if it's Lincoln Penitentiary. Um, so that might be the only way that you'd be able to see all the way around, um, like Melissa's prison, but they're surrounded by woods and stuff, and so it makes it interesting for Melissa's job because she gets rid of, pests and, animals or whatever that comes into the prison. So currently, she says what they have, and they're only keeping them right now because it was cold and you couldn't release them. So she had 2 snakes, and I think it's a toad and a frog. Um, and Melissa's dad used to have a bait shop and is an avid fisherman and a fisherman guide. Um, and so Melissa grew up working at her dad's bait shop where it doesn't phase her to grab a worm and do, all that's. And then another thing her dad does is if he's driving and there's like a turtle in the road, which I believe now that we're starting to warm up, it's the warning's gone out there for people, pay attention for turtles trying to cross the road. Um, if he finds turtles trying to cross the road, he will help them. Or also, I mean, they they advise if you see a turtle crossing the road that you pick it up and cross it in the direction it was going and just leave it there because it's going somewhere. But Paul sometimes will then take them home, and then where Paul lives, there's woods and stuff nearby, and he lets them go there. And he's also a person that if something is trapped in your attic or your soffits or whatever, a raccoon, possum, whatever, it's Paul to the rescue. So Melissa's grown up with that. And um so now that's what she's doing at the prison. But she also likes this job because Melissa is a no drama person. And and this isn't just because it's a women's prison and women are more trouble, because there's drama with men too. But there's lots of drama at the prison, girls doing whatever, and Melissa wants no part of any of it. So she wants to be kept busy. She's not gonna just sit in her cell. Or I don't even like to call it a cell. Hold on, my voice is cracking. Because she's not behind bars. She's got a room with a door and she's got a window, but even when she is just in her room, she's like avidly cleaning her room. When available, she's like regularly, like weekly bleaching, the floor, the walls, she's a clean person and, uh, wants to be kept busy. She is not a lazy person by any stretch. So she wants to work, but she doesn't want to, um, be around all the other inmates and possibly get thrown into any of their bullshit. So, doing this pest removal thing is a great thing that she doesn't have to deal with it. The job she had before that, she worked in the kitchen, but she was not the person who's like making the food or putting the food out for people, any of that. She was the one, so she was in the office and she would be doing the menus, and then she would have to be going to each building and dropping off the menus and stuff. So um she would have people contact, but it's minimized. So and a thing that Melissa always says is she is not institutionalized. And so she thinks that is also something that keeps her different than other inmates because she's not institutionalized. She's still scared being there. Um but she's also going to stand up for herself. You would think, because Melissa has the she's got learning disabilities, and we talked about her learning disabilities on this visit too. I didn't know the extent of her learning disabilities. I had known about her having the lower IQ, but I did not know that she is dyslexic. And so she was talking to me about being dyslexic. So like she typically when she starts reading something, she starts from the bottom of the page and goes up. Um, because her mind has to do what it has to do for her to be able to compute that stuff. But that was also why she had a harder time in school, that she had some issues that weren't diagnosed. While I'm thinking of it, something that she asked me for, um, um, not on this visit, but on a phone call like a week ago or something, that now she is a high school graduate, but since she's been locked away for 13 years, she feels that she's could use a touch up on her skills, especially in like science and math, because the thing that Melissa would like to do as a career once she is free is she would like to be a meteorologist. She's very interested in the weather. And I've talked about that before that, so Melissa and I will talk a lot about the weather. And I know many times people discuss the weather because they don't know what to say to one another and it's, just a distraction. No, Melissa is very interested in the weather. And I have a friend who used to do the weather for the local NBC station here. And so I had her write to Melissa at one point a couple years ago on advice on what she needs to do to prepare to be a weather person. So one of those things that she had told her is it's a lot of science and math. So, and she's like, and she was never really good at math, and I'm the worst with numbers. But so she would like to get books to touch herself up on these things, but she doesn't want, like, a science book and a math book. She thinks what would probably work best for her is, like, a GED book to cover everything, because also she can't have a whole lot of books. Um, and, she can only have a few at a time, and, she doesn't wanna get bombarded with tons of books. But if you know of a good GED book, that you can recommend, posting it here isn't gonna help me because I'll forget about it. So if you want to email me, you can email it to justicewithjax@gmail.com, or, if you wanna be the one to purchase the book and send it to her, still email me, and I'll tell you how you could do that. Um, because, I mean, Melissa rarely asks for things. I offer all the time. And she's, "Nope, I'm good. Nope, I'm good." So she's not somebody, she doesn't want anybody putting money in her commissary. Um, she's like, "I'm good. I'm taken care of." Um, and so when she asks for things, I wanna make sure she gets it, 'cause she doesn't sh she's not somebody that takes advantage at all. And now she actually just sent me an email too, but I didn't understand what she was talking about. So now I emailed her back and I'm asking her for clarification, because she asked me, I can't remember how she worded it, but she wants to know if there's a place that takes, she said, monetary donations, and to email her back with that information so she can do it. And I wasn't sure what she's referring to. What I'm assuming, and see, this is Melissa, the sweetest person on earth. We talked on the visit about Ukraine, because I had just done last weekend, I did an event where we painted, I should have brought it up here. We painted a sunflower on canvas, and it was $39 to go to this painting thing, and the money was going to an organization that is helping Ukraine. And Melissa is an artist. And so I had told her in advance that I was going to be going to, and painting the sunflower. And I'm not an artist. I'm an awful artist. But I told her I will be doing that because it was on Sunday that I went, and my visit with Melissa was Monday. So I'm like, so I'll tell you on the visit then what I painted and about this, because I love to talk to Melissa about art. And so that's how we were talking about Ukraine. And she told me, because now remember when I told you at the beginning of this, her parents have, her bedroom is just kept for Melissa. It's still got her stuff and everything. She said she told her parents to take all of her clothes and donate it to Ukraine. If there's a way to do that, to just give all her clothes and stuff to Ukraine. She's like, when I get out, I'll just, we'll get me new clothes or whatever. And so that's Melissa in prison, has nothing, has hardly anything, yet what possessions she's telling her parents to give it to Ukraine, to victims of that war. She's just the sweetest human being ever. Um, the visit was easy. Well, okay, here's how it started. All right. So when you go to visit Melissa, the first thing, you walk into a visitor house. Uh, so the first building you walk into. And you got to sign in and blah 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 and all that stuff. Well, I have been visiting Melissa for 5 or 6 years, and so there was usually the same woman who was always at the desk. So you get to know that person and they get to know you, even though we had all this time with COVID that there were no visitations. When they did allow visits here or there, she was there and she remembers me, I remember her. But she hasn't been there in a while when I've gone for visits. And so now since I made such good time, I made it a little early, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go in now too, because I gotta pee. I've just drove for 2 hours, 15 minutes or whatever. I wanna pee before they take me to my visit anyway. So I'll just go in this little bit of early. And I now get to my visit late with Melissa, even though I was in there early, because so the and Melissa told me she's a sergeant. I don't know their ranking. I just had seen what her name was on her tag. So, so when I was telling Melissa about it, I said Dial, and she's like, "Oh, that's Sergeant Dial." Um so Dial puts me in, and it gets to the point too now, when she sees me, she knows who I'm going to visit. And so she's instantly starting to type it up too. And she knows how to spell Kalusinski, where a lot of the other officers will ask me, how do you spell that? They don't know if it starts with a C or a K. She just knows. She can't find me in the computer. But then there's also a printout that was there at the desk showing my name and my time slot that I am signed up to visit, all of that. Can't find me. She's going back and getting somebody else. They come look at the can't find it, can't find it. So my name is Jacqueline. Jax is my nickname. Jacqueline has 2 N's on it. It turns out the way it was in the computer only had 1 N, and so now when Dial is putting the 2 N's, it wasn't finding me. But it got fixed, that's all good, and it turns out for that visitation shift, I was the only visit. So Melissa and I had the entire room to ourselves. So but because of how long that all took, I got there about 5 minutes late, and they don't extend your visit 5 minutes. It's, so your visitation is going from 8:30 to 11. At 11, you're out. So, um, but got to the visit. Melissa and I are the only ones there. Great. Melissa says they've changed the visitations there too, where before it was the 2 morning shifts. Everybody at that visitation, both the inmate and the visitor, had to be fully vaccinated, because when I go, I have to show them my vaccination card too. And then the evening visits were for people that aren't vaccinated. She said they just got rid of that now, and only people who are vaccinated get visits. And I know there's going to be people that upsets because they're against the vaccination. Sorry, I'm very pro vaccination. And I've been so pissed off during this pandemic that Melissa, time and time and time and time again, is punished because people refuse to get vaccinated, and then they're constantly infecting the inmates who aren't going anywhere. So they're not the ones bringing this thing around. People who work there or who visit are bringing it. And when you're not making the officers get vaccinated or wear masks, they just keep infecting the inmates. Thumbs up, Nana. Oh, Nana says, "What's your email again? I can't get into my Facebook account." So, yeah, you can send me an email, Nana. It is justicewithjax@gmail.com. That'll be the easiest one for you to remember. So, the tables, though, are still set where they've got a plexiglass thing that's on the table. And so, Melissa's to sit on one side and I'm to sit on the other. Which is always so hard for me because, for one, Melissa, again, sweet thing, so she talks in a very sweet voice, not loud. Me, who's deaf in my left ear, so I talk loud, period, because 'cause I'm freaking deaf. Um, so I'm, like, yelling when I talk constantly, so I'll have people on occasions, lots of occasions, tell me, "Shh," because 'cause I'm talking loud, but I don't hear it right because 'cause I'm deaf in one ear, and I've never been the greatest at reading lips. So, when Melissa had to wear a mask, plus there's the plexiglass, those visits sucked hard. Um, Now we don't have to wear the masks and there's the plexiglass. There's been times I've been able to move my chair over, so now we don't have to talk through the plexiglass and I can hear her better. And then there's been times that they've made us, um I have to be on the other side of the plexi. This time I was able to I didn't move my chair all the way next to her. I just scooched it over and kind of turned my head this way a little bit so we could talk around the plexiglass. Now, wasn't able to buy her chocolate, and she's a good Catholic girl and she's not cheating on it. So the first thing I got her was an egg McMuffin. The vending machines still are only half full. So there's not much variety. Not many choices. The ice cream, still no ice cream. Um, but Melissa wanted an egg McMuffin. And then Melissa is always uncomfortable. She always wants me to eat with her. Um, so I got an egg McMuffin also. I don't like the sausage. I don't eat a lot of meat. Um, but I still cooked the sausage with mine, but then gave it to her, and so she was able to have an Egg McMuffin with 2 pieces of sausage, which she just loved because something she says always says she's lacking is protein, and she says she's been losing weight recently, and to Melissa, it's a big deal because she told me that she was 125 pounds and now she was 123, and she's like, "Where is all that weight gone?" And I was like, "Hell, I go up 2 pounds a day, up, down, up, down." But for Melissa, it's a big deal, and she's, like, worried that she lost 2 pounds, you know? Um, oh my god, I can't imagine being 120. I can imagine, once upon a time I was, but okay. So, but got her the Egg McMuffin. Melissa really likes spicy stuff, and there were a couple new items in the vending machine. So the first thing was pickles, spicy pickles. And so it was cut up in a bag, and it had the brine, the pickle brine in there too. And she's like, "You want one?" And it's like, "Oh my god, it's spicy." I don't do spicy, but it's like, I'll be nice because, Melissa is always offering me half of her this, half of her that, and it's like, "I'm buying you food. I can get whatever I want whenever I want it. Don't worry about me." But she's more worried about my food than hers. Um, but so I had one piece of her pickle, and oh my god, to me, it was so freaking spicy. She loved it, and she even drank the juice, which I was telling her dad about that on the drive today, because she said she loved the pickles so much, she's gonna tell her parents about it, so when they come the next time, if the pickles are there, she wants the pickles. And so when I said she drank the brine, Paul's like, "Ooh," and he's like, "But that's good for you." He's like, "It's good for your muscles if you're dehydrated or whatever." I don't know. My husband drinks it too. Um, so she got the Egg McMuffin, the spicy pickles, and then near the end of it, she said they had 2 new things. There was a spicy, hamburger, and there was a spicy chicken. And so she typically gets a burger. She gets like a bacon cheeseburger, and she's like, so she didn't wanna get a burger this time, she wanted the chicken, but it was 2 smaller, like slider size chicken on buns, and something spicy. So, she didn't get her chocolate, and she got her cherry Pepsi. So, did good there. Um, People always ask, "How is Melissa?" She's always the same. She's, she wants to go home, wanted to go home forever ago. She but she stays patient. Like, when I talk to her about, because 'cause I'll tell her about Kathleen Zellner's other cases, because that does impact Melissa, because you know, you like to think a person can do it all and, balance all these cases at once, but you just kind of want to know when Zellner is doing something else, because maybe you will know that's why you're not hearing anything on your case, because maybe she's doing this on this case or that case. And so when I told Melissa about Stephen Avery writing that thing on his own behalf and doing all that, which I'm like, I'm sure Kathleen is livid about, and that's where Melissa's like, "Yeah, no, I'm never gonna do that." And she said Steven might not have done that of his own, well, it's still his free will, but she says other inmates get in your business and try and push you into doing XYZ. And she says, so she's got other inmates telling her all the time, "You should do this and you should file that and you should do that." And she's like, "I have a lawyer and my lawyer will handle it." So Melissa is, even though she'll go months and months and months without hearing anything, doesn't hear anything from Zellner. She has no clue what's happening with her case. And she would like to hear. I mean, it would be nice if, not even if it was Kathleen, if it was just somebody from her office would contact Melissa once a month just to give an update, even if there is no update, to say there's no update and to ask Melissa, "How are you doing?" That would be nice bedside manner. and it would be something that would put Melissa at ease. And I get it, anytime a lawyer's office contacts you, that ain't free. Cha-ching, 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 that's going on the bill. And Melissa's case is not pro bono. It is, Zellner is being paid. Um, but still, what I care about most is Melissa's well-being. That's it. That is my priority. And I know if somebody from Zellner's office would just contact Melissa once a month and just go, "Hey girl, how's it going? How you been? What's new there?" And yeah, sorry, we're still waiting for such and such. But that would do wonders for Melissa's psyche if she could just get that. And to just know that someone cares. Now she knows people care. She talked about on this visit too that she's trying to get caught up with writing people back. Melissa does try to write everybody back that writes to her. Um, but and it's so funny. She says, but sometimes she gets lazy. Um, and I can't see for a second Melissa ever being lazy, but I get what she's saying. So sometimes she puts it off and doesn't write people back. There's one person who is she's a member of Melissa's group on Facebook that her aunt Helen runs, Paulette. And Paulette always sends these really special cards to Melissa that Melissa really cherishes. And so Paulette will make a post in Melissa's group saying, "Okay, I'm going to be doing another card for Melissa on this thread, on this post, you know, write a sentence or something that you want said to Melissa." And so she compiles all that stuff into one card and sends it to Melissa. And and then Melissa will write her back and or sometimes draw her something because Melissa the artist and her drawings are fabulous and something special. So, but as I always say, whether you're writing to Melissa or Steven or Brendan or some other inmate, whoever, I always say don't write to them with the intent that you just want a letter back because it's not always gonna happen. So you're writing to them because you just wanna do something to help their day. My goal is anytime I talk to Melissa, whether it's on the phone, email, or in person, I just wanna take that time that we are spending together to try and take her mind off what's going on. I'm not going to talk to her about her case. If she mentions something about the case, we talk about it. But other than that, we're talking about The Walking Dead, we're talking about the weather. She's asking what I have going on. Um Stuff like that. Um if I were to, there's times I email her and I don't hear from her for a while. But you don't know what's going on there. And so, like, she's talked about with phone calls because she calls me too, and so I haven't gotten a call from her for a while, but then she called me on Sunday. She called me Sunday morning when I was going to visit her on Monday, and it's like, so now it's taking away from stuff we could have talked about on the visit because she called, but that's when she got access to the phone because it turns out there's other girls that are playing games with the phones, and she's not getting access to it. And, um, there's times she's gonna hold her ground and times she's gonna go, "I don't wanna deal with any of this drama," so they can have the phone. She doesn't talk to very many people, so it's not a big deal, but then that's why she also feels so hurt by, um, when she's using the phone and they cause drama for her to use the phone when she's like, "You're on the phone constantly calling a million different people." I talk to 3 people. It's me, her mom, and her dad. So she's not on the phone all the time. She's got a set day of the week that she calls her dad. She's got a set day of the week that she calls to talk to her mom because phone calls are only 20 minutes. And then there's a time that she calls and her parents then split that time. It's a weekend when the parents are together. Um and then she'll make calls outside of that schedule if there's something going on that she wanted to talk to her parents about. And then for me, it's not a schedule. She's been told to just call me whenever she wants. and if I am able to, I'm gonna take the call. And I've already been talking about Melissa now for 44 minutes, so I think next week we're gonna talk about Pam Hupp, not today to drag this video out forever. And that we'll talk about that at the end. Um, so there's a drama that happens in the prison, and right now Melissa is dealing with, so they call people either a roommate or a bunkie. So because there's bunk beds, and so Melissa's bunkie is the one that's on the same bed of her bunk bed, and Melissa and her bunkie have been together for years. And so now there's also a roommate who's in another bed that's across. And this woman is being a complete asshole to Melissa. And Melissa can't tolerate it anymore. And so she has put in a complaint to the prison on that, and she wants a new room. And she told me that there's, due to COVID and everything that's happened, there's so many empty beds at the prison right now. I mean, if I don't see any reason why there should be more than 2 people in a room, period. I would think that would be safer too, to have less people in a room, but, so Melissa wants to change rooms, and she also, she doesn't wanna lose her bunkie, so the bunkie would go with her. Um, Melissa is not a complainer. She's not a tattletale. Okay, she's a zero drama. So for her to put in this report that she just can't take it anymore with this roommate, it's bad. So, that's what Melissa is dealing with right now in there. So, Um, but she says other than that, she's looking forward to the weather being nicer and warmer. Hi, Sheila. And getting to get outside more. And her prison, the way I always describe it is it's like dorms. It's like a summer camp with a bunch of different cabins all over. So where the women stay are a bunch of different buildings. And so each building is split in 3. So there's a left wing, a right wing, and center wing. So it's not one big concrete building with bars, but the prison is also falling apart and should be condemned. There's a lot of yucky stuff that goes on there. Um, but overall, Melissa's doing as well as can be expected. She just really, really, really wants to go home, but that never changes. Anytime you talk to Melissa, she just really wants to go home and is hoping, she's constantly hoping she's going to hear, because she had a court date that was scheduled, a hearing date, whatever. I can't remember what it was. I'm really bad on the legal stuff. But then COVID hit and nothing's been rescheduled for her. And you should still be able to go to the KathleenTZellner.com, and then she's got her highly publicized cases, or highly, I think that's how she's got it, or is it highly notarized? I don't know. But Melissa is listed on there. And then there's a whole bunch of links. The last time we were in court for Melissa, there was a camera in the courtroom, and so Kathleen does have that, at least the last time I checked, has that posted. So if you want to see the last time um she was in court, Kathleen T. Sellner.com. The last time that Melissa's case was in court, you could watch that. Recent activity. There's Melissa. Ooh, highly publicized active cases. So Melissa's in the middle. She's in between Chadwick, who I don't know anything on that case, but I know that's what she's working on. Kathleen's been working on a lot now because I've seen her tweets. Um, Meet the team, more more testimonials. How come did it not go? I clicked on Melissa. It still just keeps coming up with the same page. Okay, hold on. Then do I have to click up here on cases? Okay, highly publicized active cases. She's right underneath Ryan Ferguson. So I clicked on that. Yeah. Okay, so here, let me get this link here. So this is the link to the Melissa page, and then the very well, no, that's is this the whole thing? Here, let me click on it and see what happens. How long does it say? It says it's 42 minutes. Yeah. So 2018, attorney Kathleen Zellner argued for a new trial in Lake County daycare murder case before the Illinois Court of Appeals, 2nd District. And so then you can also read Zellner's brief and read the state's brief. And then she's got a whole bunch of press. So go to that and you can watch Kathleen in action on Melissa's case on that one. And maybe you'll see me because I'm sitting right behind Kathleen with Melissa's parents. Let me scroll up and see if I've missed any questions. Um, sheep in Scotland. Deer. I've got deer here. Thank you, Raven. I've answered Nana, and Nana thumbs up. Um, and then COVID. Yep, cat. So we're just waiting. And just like in the Stephen Avery case, anything gets filed for Melissa or anything happens with Melissa, I will be on it in a flash. And obviously in Melissa's case, I would have more access to it because her family's not a bunch of assholes. And cuz Melissa's dad has talked to me before about like if Melissa were to get released, I'm going with him and Cheryl down to the prison to go get Melissa. So um so if something gets filed on Melissa, we'll go live and I will cover everything as soon as it happens. If she goes to court, I'm going to court. So as soon as I know, you'll all know. And the same thing for Steven, though. If Steven were to get into court, I do plan on attempting to get into, I'll go to Wisconsin and try to go to court, even though Steven hates me and his family hates me. And the family fans all hate me, um, because I'm there. I support Steven's innocence, and nobody can tell me that I can't support Steven's innocence. I don't care if you like me. Uh, Very true, Kat. Yeah. Um, Melissa's parents, they are there for Melissa all the way. They talk to her every week, like I said, multiple times a week, and they go visit her. Now, do they go visit every day? No, they can't visit every day. They live farther from her than I do. And also I drive faster. um, but they go at least once a month. Once a month. When already, okay, so Stephen Avery, got my little post-it note still up here from 2010 until 2020. Somebody do that math of how many months that was. 10 years is how many months? Is that 120 months? Don't make me do math. So Dolores, in 10 years, visited Stephen 62 times. Alan, 44 times. Barb, 4 times. Carla, 15 times. Earl, 19 times. Chuck, 0 in 10 years. Melissa's parents go every month. Her father has a lot of disabilities. That's another reason why, especially for Chicago, it is easier for Paul to have me drive him because he's just picking something up, and for me to park or double park in front of a building and turn my flashers on so he can go in the building and get stuff and get out. Because if Paul had to go find a parking garage and then walk the however many blocks and all that stuff, and then I'm sure he wouldn't use his cane. And then Cheryl's gonna hit him with his cane when she finds out that he didn't use his cane. It's gonna be a whole thing. Um, and the drive for Paul to go to the prison, I have degenerative disc disease. I've got a back issue. And Paul's had multiple surgeries and all this stuff. And so for Paul to have to sit in the car for multiple hours and then your visit, it's not the best chairs that you're sitting on, and it's a lot of not a lot of walking at the prison, but you're going from one building to a guard shack, then through the guard shack, through this yard area to this other building that you also have to walk upstairs to go up into. That's tough for Paul, and then for Paul to have to sit there, and he told me on their visit on April 2nd, Paul is prone to, kidney stones, and he started having the pain of a kidney stone, and now he sat in the back seat in pain as Cheryl had to drive them the hours home for another kidney stone. I feel so bad for him with all these kidney stones this poor guy gets. Um, but Melissa's parents are a huge support system for Melissa, and they have always been extremely lovely to me. Um, and Melissa always talk, because her dad is very overprotective of Melissa, um, which can you blame him? And then he will be extremely overprotective when she gets freed. And, Melissa's in her 30s, she's an adult, but Paul is still going to treat her like a child. And you do have because to be blunt, no matter how Melissa gets released, whatever evidence there is or whatever, because we all know the evidence is there that Melissa is innocent, there's always going to be people that think she's a baby killer. And so there's always going to be that worry. Will there be somebody who wants to take care of the baby killer? So that's going to make Paul even more on edge and want to lock Melissa away. And so Melissa always talks about that her parents trust me because Melissa and I talk about so many things. I'm going to take her to go do an experience when she's free. And she knows they're gonna be okay because her parents know that I'm not gonna let anybody hurt Melissa, and her safety is paramount to me, you know? But she also needs now to be able to make up for all these years that have been stolen from her and all the things that she hasn't been able to experience, And obviously, you can't do it all at once. You don't, because I think that would be too alarming and Melissa is a private person, so but, like her being an artist, I have a friend who went to the Art Institute, is a member of the Art Institute, and she lives a couple blocks away. I'm like, "Melissa, I am so taking you to the Art Institute so she can go look at, in Chicago, all the beautiful art." you know, because and I'm always pushing Melissa to do art because I think that well, I wish I could have that talent, first of all, but, I just wanna get her inspired and, be able to put her mind somewhere else, and I think if you're somebody who's into art and just standing there and looking at a painting for a little bit, um so and then there's a bunch of other things and not gonna get into, um, but I'm I'm gonna spoil her rotten. I cannot wait to do that, and one of the other things I am gonna do for her, but I know her dad kinda tries to put the kibosh on it, I'm getting her a puppy. It is happening. I have already talked about it. It's happening. You know, if you watch her interrogation, she wanted to get home to her puppy Oreo, and Oreo has since died since she's been in prison. Melissa loves animals. It really fucking pisses me off that her prison has the dog program that inmates train dogs, but Melissa isn't allowed to do it due to her crime being against a minor, that she can't be around the dogs and she can't train the dogs. But I'm like, when she's free and when she's ready, I'm not going to just get her a dog and here you go, all happy. It's when she's ready, I'm getting her a dog. Whatever dog she wants, she's getting a dog. Um, Paul, if you watch this, since I'll be posting it on in Melissa's group, and if he gets on the internet, I don't care if you like it, Paul. I'm gonna get Melissa a puppy when she's home. You'll deal. Um, Melissa absolutely deserves a puppy. So, and it's something she had talked to me at one time about what kind of puppy she was thinking about. So I got her books on that dog. So she could just be reading on their traits, characteristics, whatever, how to train them, all that. Because again, just feel like it's something people can think of that two ways. They can think of like, oh, what? You're just trying to make them, because this is what the Carla people would say, because anything I do, they try to make it look like a negative. So it would be, oh, look, you're making her suffer now thinking about a dog that she can't have. That's how they would do, the glass half empty. And I'm in this case, because I'm usually a negative person, half empty, but now I'm going to be half full of the yay, when you're free, we're going to get you this. So be looking at this and be all ready for when this happens, because this is going to happen. You're going to go home and we're going to do this. So I just want to distract and make her happy for what, even if it's for a tiny sliver of time, it's worth it. She's I say over and over, she is the sweetest girl. This was my first visit with her. Wait, no, that's not. This is my first visit with her. That they don't always take pictures at Melissa's prison. So I thought I'd be clever. And because for my first visit with Melissa, I wore an Injustice Avery shirt. And for my first visit with Steven, I wore a Free Melissa shirt. So supporting the other case on the visit, because that's how I roll. Um, but I just yeah, gonna spoil her, and I don't care if people wanna find the negative in the things that I do to try and distract her. So my next visit with Melissa, like I said, I believe the 25th is the date. So it's not next Monday, it's the Monday after that. Um, and if anything gets filed in Melissa's case or anything pops up about her case, I'll go live immediately that we get our hands on it, that I can cover that. And then we'll also be on the lookout for Stephen, because Kathleen Zellner is allegedly filing something in Stephen's case this week. And usually that happens, lawyers like to play games. And so a lot of times it happens like at the end of the day on Friday going into the weekend. Um, but it could happen at any point. So if you find it before we do, if you're on Facebook or whatever, reach out to us and let us know. This wouldn't be one when Kathleen files. I don't usually buy those from the court because Kathleen usually puts them on her website to read from there. So I save the money. And so now I only pay when the state files. Um, so just stuck waiting until either Kathleen puts it up on her website or there's times that journalists upload it somewhere to read. So, but if you go to Stephen Avery Project on Facebook and you don't see that we have a post talking about a filing, then message the page right away on where to find it. And then I will go live. We're doing all our lives, most of our lives here now on YouTube, because you never know when I'm going to be in Facebook jail, since I was for months and months already that they wouldn't let me go live. Um, so over here on the Justice with Jack's YouTube is where we'll be. So now I was going to be dividing up Melissa Calusinski with the Pam Hupp case on this one because I figured I talk about Melissa so much that it would just be a little quick update on the visit. And then I would talk about the Pam Hupp case. But we've been on for an hour. I don't like these things to drag out forever. So next week, Christopher, if you're listening, next week will be then the Pam Hupp case. And it just aired the finale. It's called The Thing About Pam. It's on NBC. So you can find it on Hulu, I believe. And this Friday night, Dateline will be airing something on the case. So we'll have that Dateline thing too to discuss next week. And that gives you time and me more time too to look into more stuff on the Pam Hupp case. This the thing about Pam is Renee Zellweger plays her. And I highly recommend this little mini series thing. It's kind of wacky and I know it was said in some of the things that I was searching today on the case that people found that it's like making light of this there's multiple murders and stuff. Um but this is just a bizarre case. Thank you, Cindy. Um so if you haven't watched it, since I've yapped on forever about Melissa and we're not going to discuss it today, watch it in the next week. So next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time, Chicago time, whatever you want to call it, will be all Pam Hupp case. Unless something happens, it's Stephen and Melissa's cases that I have to go live. But good, Sheila, because it's good and it's weird. And then at the end of it, and this isn't spoiling anything, but during the credits, they are then showing video of the real Pam Hupp when she was at court or being interrogated or whatever. And so you're able to see how good of a job that Renee Zellweger did. So you might think Zellweger is being this wacky character, but this woman talked like that and did these things. So watch that. There's other stuff on YouTube also about the case. The Dateline did, I believe they said it's 5-episode arc on this case in the past. So I may in this week look up those and watch that Dateline. Plus, like I said, Dateline is doing an update this weekend, Friday, I believe. And that also goes on Hulu afterwards, after it's aired. So if you don't if you miss it Friday night, you'll still be able to watch it. So study up on the Pam Hupp case, and we will talk about that on Wednesday. All right. So I think I will cut this one now for today. So sorry for anybody who really wanted to talk about Pam Hupp today. And I talked about Melissa. Oh, before I go, Christopher, because Christopher will smack me if I don't do this. So Christopher wants us to do something encouraging subscribers. So those of you who are already subscribers are included, and now anybody who subscribes, I guess, in the next week. I don't know how the winner is being chosen. I'm just doing what I'm told. So what does Christopher say here? Because I kept this up over on my other screen too, so I wouldn't forget, and I still almost forgot, even though it was there. Christopher said, "Our current subscribers are entered into the giveaway automatically. All new subscribers just have to subscribe to the page and they will be automatically entered. Drawings at random and winners to be announced on next week's live." So, what you're going to get is, so I've got the Etsy store that we've got these miscellaneous stickers that we've done. And so somebody at random, however Christopher is deciding it happens, is going to get a pack of all the stickers that we've done. So there's the butterfly. Melissa's favorite butterfly is the monarch. So, so justice for, is that, yeah, justice for Melissa. And then there's the justice with Jack's vagina bat, where vagina bat does what vagina bat wants. There's the Justice with Jax, like you see behind me. There's the sticker like that looks like a street sign that says "We all live on Avery Road." Don't get strange. The free Brendan Dassey dragonfly. Green and orange are Brendan's favorite colors. That's why it's in green and orange. Free Stephen Avery. Still love this for Brendan. Guessing is not confessing. Here you go, Kat. Let's slap Barb. So Wednesday's live next week. I will announce who is winning the sticker pack. And then you'll have to email me your address and I will mail you the stickers. So Christopher's making it his mission to get our subscribers up. And so he made a post on the Stephen Avery Project on Facebook about this. And then he asked me, have I noticed an increase in subscribers in this page since then? And I'm like, I don't go on YouTube unless I'm live. Typically, so like people who aren't watching this live and you make comments after live, chances are I'm not going to see it, which is probably a bad thing because I have seen at times now there's been a troll who's posted something nasty on later, but it's like, I'm really only on Facebook, so I'm doing these videos over here, but I'm not on YouTube. My husband, he watches YouTube like all night long. It's hooked up to the TV and it's just YouTube. I watch YouTube if the video I'm clicking in my Facebook news feed is a YouTube video. And it's not knocking YouTube. It's just not what I do. So, but Christopher really wants to get these subscribers up. And there was my husband rubs in my face that his YouTube channel has more subscribers than I have and probably still does. So, okay, Donna. But I don't pay attention to it. So remember to like and subscribe. So, and I guess there's some kind of bell thing. 624. Thanks, Donna. There's some kind of bell thing too that you might have to hit that will notify you. And I guess there's a thing too that you can pick that you're always notified. Sometimes I don't know. So maybe Christopher needs to give me the instructions for that. And next time I can read those instructions to you on what you have to do in subscribing and whatever. So maybe you'll get notified when I go live if I go outside of the Wednesday at 1:00. Oh, nice, Sheila. So, all right, I'm going to go. I'll call my friend back. Next, we're on the lookout for Stephen Avery's filing. So probably will see me before next Wednesday, if a filing does happen in the next couple of days. Knowing my luck now, I'm going to end this. I'm going to go downstairs because I do these lives from my spare bedroom is where I have everything set up to do lives. But I'm typically downstairs on an iPad. So I'll get downstairs and it'll be "Bah, bah, bah," we'll start getting all these notifications that there was a filing and I'll have to come back upstairs and start another live. But whatever. Me complaining about that, it's you gotta, make that glass half full and yay, something's happening for Steven, and to look at it that way. So thank you everybody for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe so you can be entered in the sticker pack giveaway. And when do your homework and watch The Thing About Pam on Hulu or Peacock, and Dateline this Friday night, I believe. It's either Friday or Saturday, to watch their update on the Pam Hupp case. All right. Thank you. Investigation continues.